Hello everyone. I just thought I would do a quick video to show you what I would like you to do for ELA this week. We are focusing on social studies. Yay! So we're going to continue with the American Revolution. And so this first passage kind of sums up what we've been learning so far, but it's not going to hurt you to read it again. And then we'll continue with the history. It's more of a general history, but it will teach you some great comprehension skills for language arts. And so we'll have questions and then vocabulary. So what I did is I made all of you a copy of the Google Slides, which you can actually type in it yourself. So the passage and the questions are all in one. And then you'll have a Google Doc that will be for vocabulary, and I will show that in a little bit. But let's start with the passage because this is where you would start. So as you can see, you have the passage here, which is about 2.5 pages long. Shouldn't be too challenging though. And you can, of course, change the view. So here you can see everything all in one screen. You can zoom in, zoom out, whatever you need to do. But I'm going to go back to the first view that I had. So you can just take one page at a time and read the passage. So when you're finished reading, you're going to go down to the comprehension questions. And the handy thing here is you can create a text box. So if you don't know how to do that, you just click on this T here and make a text box. So as you can see, I already made one. And then you would type in, and you would want to write incomplete sentences, of course. And so you would look at the question. So on what date did the Revolutionary War begin? Explain your response. So then you would start out the Revolutionary War began in, and you fill out the rest. And then you can keep going with the next questions. So at this point, oops, then it looks like if you click below each question, a text box will appear. If for some reason it doesn't, just click on the T and create your text box. And then yes, you will just type in the purpose. Spell it correctly. There we go. So you would, of course, fill in your answers here and refer to the text. And it's all here in one spot, so it's easy to find. And even on the text, you could create a text box if you wanted to. If you needed to write notes or anything like that, you could do that. I'm not sure that it will let you, I was hoping it could highlight, but I haven't figured that out. So you could underline though. And so you could click on this, oops, and you have, of course, the line, which is probably what I would use. You could pick a different color if you wanted, but again, you could, sorry, I didn't click on it. But as you can see, you can underline things if you'd like to. That is fine, because as we want you to do when we do our close reading, you should be underlining and finding those clue words. And a helpful thing would be actually for the next part of the assignment, which you're going to get your own Google Doc on. I like to do vocabulary word squares. So if you're in my class, this is something we do for novel study, language arts, and sometimes I choose the words and sometimes I let my scholars choose the words. And I'm going to let you choose the words because everyone has a different vocabulary. I would prefer that you pick 2 words that you may not know. Or if you know every word in the passage, which maybe some of you will know that, then try to be like a teacher. What 2 words do you think would be important for your peers to learn? All right. So what you're going to do, and you're only choosing 2, so those are your boxes, and you can just type in. And so you would put in your word. So you would want to go back in the passage and figure out, which word should I choose? Now, for the sake of keeping it simple, I am going to use the word colony, just because you all know that already, and so that way we're not going to risk you using my word, okay? This is an example, so don't use colony. So you can type colony here, you can type it anywhere, you can just make it whatever. And then you're going to find the definition. Miss Smith, how do I find the definition? I do not have a dictionary. Well, guess what? There's a really cool thing on here. If you go to Tools, scroll down and click on Dictionary, and then type in colony. Press enter. Boom, there you have it. So you have several definitions. It even gives you the part of speech, which is a noun. And then you can type in your definition into your box, etc. All right, the next thing is you need to create your own sentence, okay? So you could say something the people went to the colony to seek religious freedom, something like that. So create your own sentence. And then the last thing that you're going to do is I want you to find text evidence. It's very, very important that you have text evidence as readers, and especially when we do Socratic discussions, I know that's a very big deal. And normally when we read a novel, you have to come up with the page number. Don't worry about that for this because it's just a passage that we're reading. There's 2.5 pages. You don't need to put page number. So don't worry about that part. However, I want you to find the word of your choice, which for me was colony here, which it might be handy for me to underline colony. Boom. There I have it. So then it's easier for me, and you could, I guess, even underline the whole sentence that it's in, right? And here. And your word might be mentioned more than once, so just pick one sentence. It's fine. So my sentence says, the coercive acts had been passed and representatives from every colony except Georgia met to discuss how to get rid of the harsh acts. So then I would go back, and in quotation marks I would write the coercive acts, etc. So that is mainly what I want you to do. Vocabulary word squares are really in-depth, and I like them because you can really get to know a word within the text, but also knowing what the definition is by finding it and using it in a sentence. Normally in my class, we usually draw a picture of the word. It's a little hard to do on this, but if you can get creative and somehow fit in here, maybe find an image, you could look that up here. Or if you print this out, you could always draw a picture in this area of what that looks like for my artistic friends. So just have fun with it. But yeah, pick 2 words that you feel that you either don't know or you think a lot of peers of yours may not know, and go with that. So of course you can type in here, you can type in here as well, and make sure you mark turned in. You will be doing the same thing each day this week. So I'm hoping this helped answer some questions so that way we're not bothering our teachers too much with all the questions. So I hope this helped, and I hope you enjoy reading more about our American history. So have fun.